Hello everyone, welcome back. Let us continue with the chapter Natural Resources. In our previous class, we were studying about the biogeochemical cycles and we studied two of the biogeochemical cycle, that is the water cycle and the oxygen cycle. And we even studied the processes which were involved in it, like the water cycle have evaporation, condensation, precipitation, right? And then we studied the oxygen cycle, that is via how the oxygen is coming or taken from the atmosphere to all the biotic and abiotic things and then again comes to the atmosphere, right. That was either by, if the plants are taking the oxygen or the animals are taking the oxygen, plants take it during the night time and animals take it throughout the day and night, that is by respiration. Then they are giving out this carbon dioxide and water which is taken up by the plants for photosynthesis, and the plants again give that oxygen out, right. The carbon dioxide and water is taken and during photosynthesis oxygen is prepared. So, the oxygen again comes back to the atmosphere. Today in the same way we will study the next two biogeochemical cycle, that is the nitrogen cycle and the carbon cycle. Now, nitrogen cycle, we all know that nitrogen is one of the important part of our body, right. It is present in proteins, it is present in amino acid, it is a part of DNA, it is used to prepare the DNA. Then it is also used for preparing the enzymes, because enzymes are nothing but proteins and proteins are made up of nitrogen mostly. Then even your ATP consists of nitrogen. So, it is very important that this nitrogen goes into the body of plant as well as animal and come back to the atmosphere. We have already studied the constituent of air and we know that nitrogen is around 78% in the air. So, let us study the movement of nitrogen from the atmosphere to all the biotic and abiotic components and again coming back. Majorly the nitrogen cycle have few of the processes, the first one being biological nitrogen fixation. Okay. The name itself says that this nitrogen fixation will take place because of biological things. Then we have atmospheric nitrogen fixation. The next process which is involved in nitrogen fixation is ammonification. Then we have nitrification, and the last one denitrification. So, these are the processes which we are going to study in the nitrogen cycle. Okay. Let us start with the first one. Now, nitrogen we all know it is occurring as simple N in the atmosphere, and in this form it cannot be taken up by the plants or animals, right, and it is around 78% of the atmosphere. The maximum constituent of the air is nitrogen. So, how does it comes in? It comes in the plants and animal through biological nitrogen fixation, the first one. What is biological nitrogen fixation? We all human beings, right, plants and animals generally take in oxygen, or plant during photosynthesis takes carbon dioxide as a gas. This nitrogen cannot be taken, right, but few of the plants like leguminous plant take this nitrogen as their food. Okay, they take in the nitrogen for preparing their food and then the same plant gives the nitrogen to the animal. Okay, so this generally, when I say biological nitrogen fixation, I am talking about the leguminous plant which take this elemental nitrogen as a major product. Okay, so biological nitrogen fixation, through that it will come into the plants, right. Now, these plants will be eaten by whom? It will be eaten by animals, right. So, from here the nitrogen came in plants and it will come to the animals. Now, remember I am not telling all the plants, only the leguminous plant. All the leguminous plant will be able to do this biological nitrogen fixation, because in the root nodules we all know that they have the leguminous organism, okay, which helps to take this nitrogen and then convert them into nitrate and nitrites. Now, when the plant dies, what will happen? They will get converted into ammonia. okay, the waste. Even the animal secretes out the waste in the form of ammonia and urea. So, this is the way the plant will again give to the soil. Okay. Now, this is the first thing, that is biological nitrogen fixation. So, what happened, the leguminous plant took the elemental nitrogen and then it came in plants. That plant, if they are eaten by animals, then what will happen, it will come in animals, and when the plant will dead and decay, they will again give out in the form of ammonia. Even the animals will secrete the same in the, that is the waste, in the form of ammonia. Let us go to the another one, atmospheric nitrogen fixation. This happens during lightning and thunder. Okay, during lightning and thunder, this nitrogen gets mixed with oxygen and gets converted into nitrites. Okay, so this is also called as nitrification. Okay, and this nitrification over here takes place because of lightning and thunder. So, nitrification over here is taking, and this is known as atmospheric nitrogen fixation. So, what happens in atmospheric nitrogen fixation? Due to lightning and thunder, this elemental nitrogen gets mixed with the oxygen and gets converted into nitrites, and that process is also called as nitrification. Okay. This ammonia, and now we have the nitrites. Now, what will happen to this ammonia? The soil microorganisms which are present in the soil, okay, what will they do is they will break down this ammonia, that is NH3, break down this ammonia and then mix this nitrogen again with the oxygen. So, the ammonia will get converted into nitrites. Okay. This first it was getting converted into nitrites, and from nitrites this nitrification will convert into nitrates. Okay. And again the same soil microorganism will convert this nitrites also to nitrates. So, nitrites are nothing but your NO2 components and nitrates are NO3 components. Okay. Now, the plant cannot take nitrite directly, but from the soil the plant are easily able to absorb the nitrates. So, apart from leguminous plant, other all plant take this nitrates as the source of nitrogen. Okay. So, this biological nitrogen fixation will happen only for leguminous plant. Okay. Due to the industrial nitrogen fixation and whatever waste are there from plants and animal, the ammonia will get converted into nitrites. This nitrite further will get converted into nitrate. Okay. And the nitrates can be easily taken up by all the plant. Now, there are few bacteria in the same soil. Okay, what do they do is instead of converting them into NO3 components, they remove the oxygen. Okay, so that process is called as denitrification. So, during denitrification what will happen is the oxygen will get removed from the nitrogen and again you will get the nitrogen back. So, this is the way the atmospheric nitrogen comes back to the atmosphere due to the process of denitrification. So, the first one, biological nitrogen fixation, it is taking place only in leguminous plant. Fine. After that, atmospheric nitrogen fixation, what happens is the atmospheric nitrogen due to thunder and lightning get mixed with oxygen and you have nitrification. Okay, that is nitrogen getting mixed with oxygen. Okay. So, that happens and you get nitrites and nitrates. Fine. Now, this ammonia also due to soil microorganism will first get converted into nitrites. This nitrite on further nitrification gets converted into nitrate. Okay. So, this nitrite cannot be taken up by the plant, but once it gets converted into this NO3 compound, okay, it can be easily absorbed by the plants. So, the nitrates will be taken up by all the plants, and if by chance instead of nitrification bacteria you have got denitrifying bacteria, what do? They remove the oxygen. Instead of adding the oxygen to NO2 compound, they remove the oxygen so that it will get converted into again the nitrogen from which we took it, that is from the atmosphere. So, this nitrogen will again go back to the atmosphere. Okay. So, now what is this ammonification which is remaining? Now, this ammonification is nothing but this one only. Okay, the conversion of plant and even by the animals, the nitrogen whatever is present in them, the body part, when they get dead or decayed or as a waste, they throw out in the form of ammonia. That is nothing but your ammonification. So you can add this over here. Conversion of whatever nitrogen is there in the plant and animal body in the form of protein, in the form of their DNA, in the form of their ATP, when they get converted into ammonia, it is called as ammonification. Okay. So these are the 5 major steps of nitrogen fixation. So first let us recapitulate what is there. The atmospheric nitrogen, that leguminous plant will take them due to biological nitrogen fixation. Okay. It will go into the plant body and the plants will be eaten up by the animals. The other way is industrial or your atmospheric nitrogen fixation, in which what happens, that the nitrogen gets mixed with the oxygen due to thunder and lightning, that is nitrification, and get converted into nitrates. Okay. Now this plant and animal, whenever they die, the dead and decay, or even the waste of plant and animal are in the form of ammonia. So that process is ammonification. This ammonia will get converted into nitrites by nitrifying bacteria. Okay. And this nitrite will again get converted into nitrates. The nitrates can be easily absorbed by the plant. So other all plants except the leguminous plant will take this nitrates as the source of their nitrogen. And if instead of nitrification you get denitrifying bacteria, that is removal of oxygen from the nitrogen. Okay, the nitrogen, say oxygen will get removed. So in that case denitrification will take place and again you will get the same elemental nitrogen in the atmosphere. So this is the way the nitrogen is taken by the biotic and abiotic component and again given back to the atmosphere. This is all about your nitrogen cycle. Just have a look over here and then we will go on to the carbon cycle. Okay, the 5 major processes: biological nitrogen fixation, this is for leguminous plant; atmospheric nitrogen fixation for lightning and thunder, where it gets converted or where it gets mixed with the oxygen; ammonification, that is the plant waste and the animal waste, they get converted into ammonia, that is NH3. Nitrification, what happens is the nitrogen gets converted to NO2 or NO3 compounds, and denitrifying, the NO, okay, oxygen will get removed from the nitrates and nitrites and again you will get the elemental nitrogen. Let us go to the next cycle, carbon cycle. Okay. Now carbon is again present in the atmosphere in the form of your carbon dioxide, right, and it is present in a very small amount. But this carbon needs to be circulated in the atmosphere because it is a major part of your photosynthesis where the plant takes. Apart from this, the carbon dioxide or the carbon is also present in different forms in our living things, like in the form of shell. Okay, it is also present in the form of limestone. What is limestone? It is generally present in the water. So in the form of shells, in the form of limestone, different stones that is mixed with calcium, that is calcium carbonate and all that you are having. Then it is even one of the major component of fuel. We all have studied in 8th standard how are the fuel produced, right? So coal and petroleum are also made up of this carbon. Fine. So that is the reason we are going to study the carbon cycle. Apart from this, it is also one of the major greenhouse gas. Okay, and we know that greenhouse gases are important. Why? Because they maintain the temperature. But nowadays what is happening is the greenhouse gas content have increased. As a result, the temperature have also increased. So that we will study once we have finished the carbon cycle. Let us start with carbon cycle. Okay, now carbon is present in the form of CO2 in the atmosphere, right? It is present in the form of carbon dioxide. Now who takes this carbon dioxide? It is taken up by the plants. For which process? It is taken up by the plants for the process of photosynthesis, right? This is during the daytime. During the night time, the plant gives out the carbon dioxide, right? Because night time they respire. So this is one cycle, the first cycle in which the plant, how the plant takes and give out. This is during the morning time and this is during the night time. Now these plants are being eaten up by the animals. So from the plant it comes into the animals, right? And the animals also give this carbon dioxide during respiration. So if I want to write down what is this process by which they are giving back again, I can write down respiration over here. Okay, and even their decomposition, whenever they decompose, they release carbon or decomposition, I will write, they release carbon compounds. Okay, so this is one of the way the plant will take in for the photosynthesis during daytime, and at night time they will give out during respiration. These plants are eaten up by animals, but the animals take only oxygen. We studied that in oxygen cycle, and they give out carbon dioxide again, right. Now plant makes up coal, right. So the carbon from the plant comes to animal as well as it is in the coal from the plant itself, right. Then even plants helps to make up the petroleum. But petroleum is made up of the dead and decaying of plant as well as animal, the marine plants and animals. So petroleum, the carbon will come from plant, marine plant as well as the marine animals. So this coal have the carbon content, petroleum have the carbon content from here. Apart from this, the carbon dioxide also enters the water. Okay, it also enters the water because by the process of diffusion, and from this it is generally present in the form of limestone in the water, the stones. Okay, and then the animals are the ones which have the shells, right. So shells of animals. Okay. So the carbon dioxide is taken up by the plant and animal, but it is present in plant. From plant it comes to the animal. From plant it also goes to a fossil fuel, that is coal. Okay, so the coal also contains carbon. From plant itself it goes to petroleum, but the petroleum is made up of marine plants and animals. So both the things will have petroleum. Fine. Then the carbon dioxide moves even in the water, and it is generally present in the water in the form of limestone. These animals also have the carbon in the form of shell. The shelled organisms will have the carbon content, okay, in the form of their shells. The shells are generally made up of calcium carbonate. Okay, so over there also the carbon is coming. So this is your carbon cycle. Easy. The carbon dioxide will be taken up by the plants, and the plant. This is during which time? For your convenience I am writing this is during morning time. No need of writing, so that you can understand I am writing it over here. Then during the night time the plant respire, so you get the carbon dioxide again. Now the plants are eaten by animals, through which the carbon comes into the animals, and the animals give out the carbon dioxide during respiration as well as decomposition. Okay. Then the plant are a part of for the formation of coal. So the carbon from plant also comes in the coal. Plant and animals both are a part of formation of petroleum. So from both of them you get carbon in the petroleum content. Okay. Then the carbon is also mixed with water, and the water it is present in the form of limestones. Okay. And if the animals are shelled, then also the carbon will be there. So from that also the carbon is present in the atmosphere. Now let us study the greenhouse gases. We already studied when we are studying the air and its pollution that there are few gases which are produced due to the decomposition of all this matter, that is whenever the garbage get decomposed, as well as the burning of coal and petroleum, right. So the carbon dioxide, your CFCs. What are CFCs? Chlorofluorocarbons. Okay. These are generally made up by the working of air conditioner and even the sprays. Okay, they releases, even the refrigerator releases the CFCs. These all are majorly, okay, your greenhouse gases. Now these greenhouse gases are actually required by the atmosphere, okay, because of the presence of these greenhouse gases only. Majorly the carbon dioxide is one of the major greenhouse gas, and because of this gas only the temperature of the earth is maintained. It is said that if greenhouse gases are not there, then the temperature may drop by -20. Okay, and because of this greenhouse gases we have an average temperature of 15 degrees Celsius. But nowadays we are experiencing temperature which are going much above this limit. Okay, this is because these greenhouse gases have increased too much. As a result, the infrared radiations are not allowed to go again back, okay, and the rays remain in the atmosphere itself. Due to that reason, the overall temperature of the earth have rise, and that you call it as global warming. Okay, so global warming takes place due to the excess amount of this greenhouse gases, because they do not allow the radiations to go back. So the radiation remains in the earth atmosphere and keep on heating up the earth. Okay, remember, these greenhouse gases are required in small quantity by the earth to maintain the temperature, but if the level increases, then only they cause the rise in earth temperature that is happening now. Okay, with this we have almost completed the chapter. Let us recapitulate again. That is the nitrogen cycle, which have 5 processes. Biological nitrogen fixation, which takes place in leguminous plant. Then we have atmospheric nitrogen fixation, which takes place for all the plant, where the lightning and thunder converts the nitrogen into nitrates. Okay. Now this plant and animal waste, whenever this leguminous plant are eaten up by the animal, or any plant is eaten up by the animal, they give out the waste in the form of ammonia. That is called as ammonification. Okay. This ammonia gets nitrified by nitrification process, and you get nitrite, that is NO2 component. The NO2 component converted again to NO3. Okay. And this NO3, that is the nitrate, can be easily taken up by the plants again. If by chance this nitrate comes in contact with the denitrifying bacteria of the soil, so instead of getting converted into NO3, it will get converted into the atmospheric nitrogen, again the N, and as a result it goes back. That is one thing. Then comes the carbon cycle. Okay. First, the carbon is taken up by the plant, carbon dioxide, for photosynthesis. During night time it is given out for respiration and decomposition during that process. The plants are eaten up by the animals, and the animals again give out the carbon dioxide during the respiration and decomposition. The plant is one of the major component of coal. Okay. So from the plant it comes, the carbon comes in the coal, and from plants and animal the carbon comes in petroleum. There are few animals which are shelled, so it comes in the shells of the animals, and the carbon dioxide can also get mixed with the water and is present in the form of limestone. In the next class, we will be recapitulating the whole chapter with the help of a well-defined flow chart, and then we will carry forward with the important question and answers. Thank you.
Hope this video increased your knowledge. For more such videos and a completely free educational content, log on to www.epathshala.org or visit our ePathshala YouTube channel. We have each and every question solved for maths, physics, chemistry and biology. So subscribe our channel, share with your friends, like our Facebook page and follow our Twitter handle for regular updates and important educational tips, and also win ePathshala goodies. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe this channel and enjoy the freedom of education.